Welcome back to Streaming Media 25. My name is Doug Daulton. We're here at the Fairmont Miramar in sunny Santa Monica, California. I'm with Mack of Slink It, and we're going to talk a little bit about what he's working on and what the show's meant to him. So tell me a little bit about Slink It. Tell me a little about yourself.
All right, thank you. So Slink It is media engagement technology. It's in the ad tech industry sector. And what I use Slink It for is basically what we created for is for users to have the opportunity to purchase items off of TV and get exactly what they see on TV at the time that they want it.
So this is kind of like buy the look?
Yeah, it's like buy the look or buy the, it can be more than that. It can buy the thing, right? So it can pick up different items and I can kind of give you the rundown on what it does. So the technology itself, you use a second screen experience, you use your smartphone, and if you see a program on television, you can literally trigger the video recording part of your smartphone, and what happens is it'll record it for a couple of seconds, and whatever's on TV at that time, no matter if it's the clothes, the chandelier, the toaster, all of the things, the items that are associated to that television show will, or in that segment, will appear into your smartphone. And then once it's there, you have a number of options. You can either purchase that item, you can like it, you can add it to your wish list, and it automatically saves for you as well. So you don't have to, really, to be honest with you, do too many things.
So for the content creator, it's an entirely different revenue stream, a different way to monetize their content.
Absolutely. I believe that the new way of selling advertisement is through the television shows and movies. And in order to do that, brands will, to be honest with you, they should place these items just like product placement. Buy space in movies and television shows, and then give the audience of millions of people who watch it and opportunity to shop. And just think about it, the way we created this is residual, and it's a residual for the brand, because as long as that show lives, which will be forever, that means that anyone could shop those items forever.
Well, and from the audience's standpoint, it's less disruptive, it's less intrusive. You're not getting, not being sold hard on a break where it takes you out of the show for a minute. You have to come back into the show. You watch it. You could watch the movie at the theaters and not take your phone out, but then come back and watch it at home and be like, oh, I really like that outfit that J-Lo was wearing or whatever, and take a picture, or not take a picture, but take a picture from the playback on the television. You've got everything you need.
Yeah.
And so you're able to sell, and to your point, it's residual. So
Absolutely.
it just, it's basically, it becomes a non-intrusive embedded ad for whatever that product is.
Yeah.
It's an interesting take on a new way of looking at product placement.
Absolutely, and to your point, even in the theater, like believe it or not, that was the first concept we proved was doing it in the theater. We took a smaller project with a company from a friend of mine who has his own studio, and he produced this movie, and we had a red carpet event at a Chinese theater. A lot of people came, and he wanted the Slink It experience inside the theater. So as that movie was going on, that audience had the opportunity to trigger the trigger button during the movie. Now, mind you, they couldn't shop it while they're watching the show. But like I told you before, those items get saved when you trigger it. So as long as you trigger and it captures the items within that 3 to 4 seconds, then that means that it has it and it saves it for you. And then anything like you talked about at home is just a great experience, because you can act on it right then and there, or like I said, you can save it and act on it later.
Is there an opportunity there for content creators as well? Meaning, I think about the Joan Rivers red carpet shows where they're talking about the clothes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is there an opportunity for content creators to be able to do their own kind of review the look kind of show and be able to monetize, that content as well, because they're able to pull it out of the feed, talk about it, and for the advertiser, it's just one more opportunity there that it goes, from one platform to another and carries over in that that shop the show kind of feel.
Yeah. Content creators could definitely take advantage of it. I mean, Joan Rivers, using her as an example, we know that she had a show where people used to walk the red carpet and they will shop that look, or they want to know what they're wearing at least. And yeah, this brings that capability for those celebrities, content creators, to earn money from even the items that they purchase, right?
I hadn't thought about that, but the talent who's now wearing so and so.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was actually thinking about someone who wanted to do their own Joan Rivers show.
Yeah.
But it applies to all three.
Yeah, it applies to everything. Everybody has the opportunity because the technology, really, be honest with you, and the way it delivers it doesn't care who can have the advantage.
It's kind of platform
agnostic. It's going to do it for you. Absolutely.
Outstanding. So let's talk a little bit about the show. What are the themes or the ideas that you've seen here that have made you kind of take a second look, or ask, that's interesting, I wonder what that might look like in a year?
Yeah, I think that I've seen a lot of things go on, and a lot of talk is around artificial intelligence, obviously, and there's people are trying to figure out how, at least the events that I've attended, on how AI is going to be involved in longevity, right? And we all know that it's all about the data, and so you have everybody's trying to figure out a way to get their hands on data, because as long as they can get their hands on data, then they can create a whole lot of things, right? Including what I'm doing. It doesn't work without data. So I did find a couple segments of this weekend, hourly segments, very interesting. I could tell you that I'm trying to figure out which one stood out, to be honest with you. But I got a lot of information from all of them that could be an advantage to me.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the interesting things about this show in general, right? It's a little bit more intimate, a little bit more tied together, and so it's a lot of opportunity to kind of maybe see slightly different perspectives that you wouldn't necessarily get at a bigger show that's kind of, you're pushing through constantly, meeting after meeting, more stand-up, just like our conversation last night, right?
Yeah.
We've known each other, we know each other before, but we bumped into each other and we had like a great 25-minute conversation about things. So
absolutely,
that's one of the great things I love about the show.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely great. You're great. Man. I was actually, like, you're just one of the other persons that I've seen out speaking that caught my attention, and even when I saw you talk at our last event, it clearly let me know that I want to get in touch with you.
So I appreciate that.
So, no, man, I feel the same. I feel that we both have something in common, so I hope we can get somewhere soon.
Outstanding. So what do you think is the one major trend that people should be thinking about, and how it's going to impact any of these businesses over the next 18 months?
Trend-wise, I would just say that, I'm trying to think exactly. I didn't think about that too much, but it always just goes back to, I believe, AI. And I think the trend is going to be people trying to figure out a way to monetize their data and what they have, and how does it fit. How can they monetize it internally? How can it work for other companies that they're doing business with? Because really, to be honest with you, it's not hard to get your hands on a lot of the data, because there's a lot of affiliate programs out there, and people are always doing some sort of partnership, because everybody always want another. If they can't sell items or services themselves, they look for affiliates or publishers to do it for them, right? And so I believe that the trend is just really just trying to figure out a way to do that more on an AI level, and that's it.
Couldn't agree more. I think one of the things that's really interesting about what I've heard here versus NAB necessarily is, Gen AI is getting a lot of talk. It's the new hotness. It's the sexy thing everyone wants to talk about on the content creation side. But really, I think the immediate impact is on the data. It's on the workflows. It's having the AI aggregate things at a pace that human beings can't.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily replacing people, but it's kind of a force multiplier.
Yeah,
Would you agree with that?
Just think about this. I always like to bring things up because we all seen the show Kit. I mean, the Knight Rider, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I talk about Kit. So, Kit could see anything. Everything was a trigger to Kit. Every single thing. Whether it's the person, the face that it sees, the object, like I said, a knife in somebody's hand, another car, a turtle walking across the street.
Right.
It can respond to anything. So when you think about the way we do AI, that show's way ahead of its time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because really, it's a proactive system. Right now, we're talking reactive, right? We always doing things that are reactive. Whether you ask ChatGPT something or Apple Video Intelligence, the AI that was presented there was more proactive. It can respond off of something that it sees with its biometric, with its eyes, the objects that was a trigger to its brain to make it respond in a different way.
Well, and we were talking about that example last night, which, by the way, I think Kit is the elevator pitch for AI. It's an amazing analogy, right?
Right.
But the thing I thought was really interesting, you were saying, well, Kit, has the ability to act autonomously, but he checks in with Michael. And then, and so by default and by design, he's checking in with Michael. So there's still that human in the middle in terms of Michael.
Yeah.
But if Michael says, hey, you're enabled to do these things, stop the car because there's a turtle,
right.
he can act autonomously.
But he was also able to act if he felt Michael was in danger.
Right.
Without Michael's intervention at all.
Right.
Without his permission. So
But within a certain parameter.
But within certain parameters, right. So it was more like, this is my owner and I'm protecting him, right?
Yep.
And I think that's really the way that you talked about, where things are moving. I think, right now you have, companies that you got Siri, you got Alexa, you have ChatGPT. I mean, where I see what's about to happen is the capability of everyone having their own true personal assistant.
Yep.
Very similar to Kit.
Yeah.
To that it belongs to them. It acts like them. It wants to do things that
As we talked about last night, you're preaching to the choir on that one. I think that's exactly where we're headed, both on the individual level and also at the business level. I think part of the ethics and legal protections, proactive legal protection, is bringing things in-house, bringing things on-prem, and building your own metrics and systems and agents that work to you, and then you are able to contain them, right?
Right.
So we could have this conversation all day long if we wanted to, but we've got other folks we've got to talk to. So Mack, thanks so much for
appreciate it, and I
taking
apologize
time.
I didn't give an introduction on myself.
Oh
but,
no, it's quite all right.
We'll get to that another time, but I'm Mack Craft.
Yeah. So this is Doug Daulton for Streaming Media. This has been Mack Craft from Slink It, and we'll see you on the next one.